Hi everyone. Yes. Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to be here. My name is Maksim, I'm a computational scientist at Sanofi. And here is Alexia, she's the supply chain excellence analytics team lead. So her position is very impressive. Here, we want to present our two use cases at Sanofi, how we're enabling AI in the company. And we'll be talking about R&D, I will be covering this. And the second topic is the supply chain. So first, what is Sanofi? Sanofi is a global healthcare company with one purpose, which is the miracles of science to improve patients' lives. And we operate in around 90 countries. There are almost 100,000 Sanofians across the world. We have more than 60 manufacturing sites and around 20 R&D sites. And the whole organization understands that we should invest in AI to enable it across the organization, and that's how we can provide the best-in-class therapy for the patients. So I'm working in a digital R&D organization, and I'm working on enabling the data-driven drug and vaccine development. So what does it mean? It means that we're trying to enable AI across the whole life cycle of the drug development. Our organization can be structured as 4 teams. So we first start with the basic research. In here, we have a data for new technologies team, which is focusing on identifying the targets which we can focus on with our drugs that we develop in our portfolio. The second team is the unstructured data search. So this UDS team is enabling the large language model research. And we're also using the active learning to improve experiment efficiency and to streamline the drug design. The third team is the medical data modeling. So this team is more about the disease modeling, how we can understand the treatment evolution and the molecule impact on the disease. The final team is the team I'm part of, which is the integrative clinical data. Here we're using AI to improve clinical trial efficiency, its safety, and planning. So I will start with the first use case. It's called the spatial transcriptomics. This is the project that was done by the data for new technologies team. And we'll start with a quick promotion video that shows you how Sanofi is using spatial transcriptomics to identify the targets for drugs.
Imagine that it's 2002 and you're getting ready to drive from your suburban home to Paris. You look at a map, hop into your car, and start your journey, hoping that you don't make a wrong turn or get stuck in traffic. That feeling of making decisions with limited knowledge is not far from what scientists and researchers in drug discovery have experienced until now. Research techniques have constrained scientists to either conduct single gene expression, the genetic makeup of a single cell, or cellular morphological imaging, the physical form and structure of cells and tissues, which has limited our ability to get a full picture of what is going on in the body. Today's driver is equipped with a smartphone and apps that not only display maps, but also recommend routes based on predicted traffic and real-time events like crashes. While a map on a screen is helpful, the app's algorithms and route recommendations are what empower the driver to make informed decisions. Similarly, equipping today's scientists with the artificial intelligence-generated recommendations provides them with access to new knowledge and information that previously was inaccessible. Spatial transcriptomics is cutting-edge technology that allows researchers to simultaneously study gene expression patterns in individual cells and their cell structure and positioning. The use of artificial intelligence and computation is revolutionizing our understanding of cellular interactions and functional relationships within tissues and transforming how we learn more about disease mechanisms, discovering new and personalized medicine, and evaluating drug efficacy during the R&D lifecycle. Unlike other existing solutions that can take weeks to process, Spatial One processes multiple experiments in a matter of hours, leveraging automation of high-resolution data. Most importantly, the insights from spatial transcriptomics are transforming artificial intelligence-driven drug discovery across therapeutic areas, including oncology, neurology, and immunology, improving potential target identification by 20 to 30%. By learning from and sharing with each other, we can think as one Sanofi. We are stronger together when we put our purpose first.
So as you can see here, the spatial transcriptomics is really unlocking the druggable patient biology with precision medicine. We're profiling the patients with the complex disease, and then we're matching this with the precision therapies that we have in our portfolio. And the team is using the single cell and spatial profiling to characterize the patients and to really find the best drug for the target that we're working with. We're starting with the tissue sampling. We're extracting the biopsy from the patients. Then we're using the multi-omics technology to profile the patients. With the algorithms from AI and the bioinformatics, we're identifying the cell types and the spatial localization of the cells. And this eventually enables us to identify the targets, to do the stratified medicine, and to understand what's happening underneath the disease mechanisms. And everything is empowered by AI, meaning that the AI allows us to combine image genomics and reference data and to identify the signals that can drive these insights that we provide for the clinical team. For example, which cells are present in the tissue, where they're located, and how they interact with each other. And imagine the clinical team comes to you and they ask, why do patients react differently to the same disease? Patient A has a malignant cancer, patient B has a benign cancer. How do I identify the differences between them? The spatial transcriptomics can identify this by looking inside the tissue, understanding the genetic biomarkers that are activated inside, how the cells interact with each other, what is the tissue distribution, and then provide the genetic causes around that. The second use case is the use case I'm working on. So this is the work done by integrative clinical data, and we're working on optimizing the clinical trials at Sanofi. So why do we need to optimize them? Because they often face various problems. They're time-consuming, they're burdensome, and they cost a lot of money, to be honest. And it is estimated that around 45% of all phase 3 trials will likely fail, 20% because of safety, 60% because of efficacy, and also because of other reasons such as the lack of commercial value. And as you can see, because of these situations, the patients are frequently exposed to harmful or futile drugs. It's very expensive to run the clinical trials. And of course, sometimes the drugs can be effective for some subpopulations of patients, but we just didn't run a trial for that. So how do we match the patients and the trial to really enable these mechanisms in a more optimized way? And to do that, we're leveraging the clinical data and AI to reinvent the clinical trials. We're tapping into the randomized clinical trials, and we're looking at the clinical biomarkers that will allow us to optimize for safety and efficiency. And the real-world data that comes from the medical hospitals, from the electronic health records, from the medical claims, allow us to increase the statistical power. So how do we increase the patient pool to get more signal to identify more patterns? And finally, the AI is sitting on top of that. It allows us to identify the signals that we're working with to, for example, identify the patients that are of a higher risk, of a low risk to the safety concerns. So whether there are certain adverse effects can happen with a certain patients. And the final So, and one of the projects that I want to mention is the indication finding. So this is the project where we can try to match the targets, the diseases that we're working with, and the drugs that we have in our portfolio. So how can we find novel indications or the patient pools, patient characteristics to new and existing drugs in our portfolio? We start with the RWD patient cohorts. So we start with the data that comes from the medical hospitals, and we having millions of patients in that. And each patient is characterized by the lab tests, by the subject level information such as age, ethnicity, and these patient profiles allow us to describe the patients. On top of that, we're running the clustering analysis to identify subtypes of these patients. And then the purest and the largest clusters allow us to identify which patient subtypes will likely respond to the drugs we're working with. For example, a certain target is a certain pathway of interest is activated in this subtype, and that's what is of a particular interest for us. And then we quantify the drug applicability for different subtypes. So meaning that whether a certain patient's pool will have a better response to the drug and also will have a more safe response to the drug. Passing it to Alexia.
Thank you, Maxim. So we have seen how AI is involved in R&D. It's very impressive today what we can do. Now I'm going to talk about more on the supply chain perspective, right? How can we make sure that those products that we are producing arrive at our final patients, right? So why do we want to invest in AI? It's very simple. We need to be more resilient. Things are happening in the world today that we cannot ourselves know always about, right? And thanks to AI and thanks to all the information that we are having outside of our organization, but also inside of our organization with the data, it's going to restructure it and it's going to really learn from it and give us the right information to tackle these types of situations that might happen. A bit about supply chain, right? I'm working in the supply chain department in analytics team. We have more than 200 external manufacturers. So it's like factories that are producing for ourselves. We have more than 60 plants in Sanofi. We have billions and billions of drugs supplied to our patients. We have a lot of distribution worldwide now. We have sites in Latam, US, Africa, Asia, Europe, and a lot of therapeutic areas that we focus on thanks to the R&D technology that we are able to innovate with. So by leveraging analytics and AI, what we're getting? We're getting more visibility, right? Today, unfortunately, that's a part that companies are lacking, whether it's pharmaceutical or else. We don't know what is we have kind of visibility, but we don't always know what's happening. Agility, right? To be able to adapt this independent situation, and resilience. So the project that I will be talking about today is digital value stream mapping. We started this project last year, and today we are working on it. The people have access and they use this tool. So with this tool Accent that we built with a partner, it gives us the visibility of how my products move from point A, so my manufacturing site, from my supplier, up until my export DC, until my final customer, which can be a pharmacy or a hospital. So it gives me visibility of the situation. We've been hearing this year now a lot of words happening, a lot of circumstances, natural disasters. So this visibility helps us assess the impact that those disasters could have in our end-to-end supply in order for us to provide to our patient the medication that they need. Operational performance, right? As all companies, we want to excel in what we're doing, right? When we plan, we want to plan very well. So it helps us get also this information. How am I actually performing today? Where I need to improve tomorrow? And finally, improve this information, so kind of go more into the self-healing process. So this is a bit of a demo of how the tool we have built today. So you can see I just put here a product and I can see directly the impact on it. So I can see the nodes here represent how many sites that I have in a location, but also I can think about what is my CO2 impact on that, right? This is just the base to get through that, not just about my patient, but also my environmental impact, because I care about my planet. You have this nice map view, but then you can have the view on a more operational part, right? So the business, the teams can really work with this information, because a map is nice to have, but it's a bit too of a high-level view. And here what we can see, we can see the view by node. So this is my manufacturing that I see here. I'm going to try the laser. Well, it doesn't work, sorry. So I can see my manufacturing site, my first plant, right? I get my chemistry side, then it's moving to my second, where I'm producing this tablet, or for example, you're using paracetamol, I'm sure, every day, right? How this chemistry ingredient, I'm transforming it into a tablet, and then I'm moving it to my different markets that I can have worldwide. And I can get the detail, what's behind this node? What type of inputs do I have? So I'm using this product, so we use a kind of a codification for our products, right? So product A is being used to produce this product, and I use all of these different bulks. So my bulk is actually my chemistry product, right? To produce my formulated product. It's when I mix the products, right? To generate another one, then my feeling when I put it in my, for example, syringe, or tableted when I create my blisters, and finally package it to ship it worldwide. That's one of the view that is getting us, right? And as I said, it's helped a lot with the risk management. But as we mentioned before, what we also want to do is to excel in what we're doing. So this view, it's one of them. It's just gonna tell me how am I performing today. So today, my end-to-end lead time, I wanna know from my supplier up until my final customer, how long does it take? I know the theory because I plan with it. But does it always happen the way we plan? Of course not. So thanks to this tool, I'm able to see how I'm doing today, what is my theory telling me, okay, this is my theory in my planning system, and to see, okay, per batch, because we are sending boxes, right? We're not sending all at one time. How many batch are within the plans, right? Are within the 303 days, and how many are above that? And that helps to automate the processes and identify when I lack. So I need to focus in the red zone. I don't need to waste time in this. I need to understand what happened in this red part. Is it a disruption because there was an issue in a factory? Is it a natural cause, etc., etc.? Then this information, we have it by processes, because of course in a manufacturing site you have the production part. As you know, quality testing for pharmaceutical companies such as Sanofi, it's very important to ensure that the product has a good quality. So I can see how long does it take my quality process, how long does it take my bulk when it's waiting somewhere, right, before being shipped to the next part, and of course the transfer time, and etc., etc. And this is just an additional view to see per process, per site, where am I taking too much time? And here, for example, we can see that in this high bucket is where I could potentially improve, right? It's taking too much long to do that. What can I do? Do I need more people? Do I need more machines, right, to the site in order to enable the production and for the product to be faster at our patients and we don't have any potential delays? And finally, this is another additional view where we try to measure, okay, where is my stock being held, right? Today, we have a lot of stock worldwide, right, available, but sometimes the stock is in the wrong place. It's not where it needs to be. It needs usually what we would like it to be, right, is to be available at the patient, right? So that's when there is a demand, the patient finds his medicine. Unfortunately, it's not always the case. So this view helps us improve where is my stock being held, how can I optimize this, and where I should put it in. So that was actually my last slide. And we have 5 minutes if you have any question that you would like to ask Maxim or myself. I don't know if you...
Muchísimas gracias por la ponencia y vamos a hacer como siempre. Rondita de preguntas si queréis, la podéis hacer en castellano y directamente lo podríamos traducir por si queremos, si alguien tiene algún tipo de duda. ¿Ha quedado todo claro? Pues nada, muchísimas gracias.
Gracias
por la
a ti. Adiós.